to Tales of Olympus, and I'm Ariel, you know, the first demigod podcaster in the world that has a podcast named Tales of Olympus. Yeah, it's probably only me, or not. Well, you know me, I tell myths, drop drama, and make the God's secret way more entertaining than your history book. So today I was thinking that we should do a tale that's full of threads, talent, and terrible temper tantrums from the gods. Wow, I just did a 5 word alliteration sentence. Like threads, talent, terrible temper tantrums. Cool. Anyways, today we're diving into one of the most intense showdowns in all of Greek mythology, and this is Athena versus Arachne, a goddess, versus a mortal, and a competition that may have turned into a curse. But before we begin the weaving contest of the century, let's get to know the two rivals. One's a goddess with a shiny helmet and a serious wisdom streak. The other's a mortal girl who said, Athena, ha, I can weave better with my eyes closed. So, Well, if you know Greek mythology, one rule you should never break is do not insult the gods. So, let's meet Athena first. Our first contestant. And trust me, she's not someone you want to mess with. Her name, Athena, also known as Pallas Athena. In a future episode, or maybe the next few episodes, we'll talk about how her name became from Athena to Pallas Athena. Anyways, she was the goddess of wisdom, war strategy, courage, and crafts, especially weaving. That's going to be important later. So, for people that are new to this podcast, if you want to learn like everything, or not everything, just more about Athena, you can go listen to our Athena versus Ares exact opposites episode. It talks all about Athena and Ares. So, now Athena wasn't just born like a normal baby. She literally burst out of Zeus's head in full armor. Like, surprise, I'm ready for battle. And why? Because Zeus swallowed her pregnant mother, Metis, after hearing a prophecy that the child would be wiser than him. Well, that's a classic Zeus move. But instead of stopping the prophecy, he just gave himself a mega headache. And then boom, out came Athena with a war cry louder than the sky. For more details on the birth, just go check out our Athena versus Ares exact opposites. So that's how powerful she is. She didn't even need a mom's womb. She headcanoned herself into the world. Well, not exactly herself. Something to do with Hephaestus again. Just go check out our episode about Athena. The episode name is very long. So anyways, Athena became one of the 12 Olympians, and the mortals adored her. And they built temples for her, especially in one super famous city, Athens. That whole city is named after her. And why? Because, she beat Poseidon in a contest to be the city's patron. Well, go check out our Athena vs Poseidon episode. It tells all about the Battle of Athens and why they hate each other. So now you know Athena wasn't just wise. She was feared, respected, and worshipped. She had everything except one thing: humility. And that's where our second challenger comes in. Let's meet Arachne. She's sort of like the underdog, and the mortal girl who wasn't afraid to stand up to a goddess. Her name was Arachne. No, it was not arachnid like spiders. Well, not yet. Just wait. Arachne was a regular girl from the region of Lydia, in what's now modern-day Turkey. She wasn't a princess or a priestess either. She didn't have a godly parent or a fancy prophecy. She just had talent, like legendary talent. She could wave. No, she cannot wave. It's Poseidon. Oh, well, Poseidon's getting in my head. I just went to the sea in a few days before. So, yeah. So, anyways, Athena could weave tapestries so detailed that they looked like paintings. People said the flower in her clothes looked like they could bloom. And the people in her woven scenes looked like they might breathe. Even the gods whispered, "Wait, who made that? Was it me?" Well, crowds came from all over to watch her work, young kids, old poets, rich merchants, and even kings. And everyone who saw her tapestries, well, mostly everyone, said the same thing. This must be the work of Athena herself. But Arachne, she hated that. She will look them right in the eye and say, "Athena didn't teach me. I learned by myself. No goddess helped me." And yikes. Look, you can be proud of your talent, but in ancient Greece, saying you're better than a god, it's like writing your own doom scroll. Still, Arachne didn't back down. She also said, "If Athena thinks she's better than me, why doesn't she prove it?" And, you know what happens when you challenge a god, right? So, Arachne had just thrown some serious shade at a goddess. And let me remind you, not just any goddess. Athena, goddess of wisdom, goddess of war strategies, the goddess of weaving. And Athena, she hears everything, even mortal gossip. So, what does she do? Did she throw a lightning bolt? No, she's not Zeus. Did she curse Arachne instantly? Nope. She did something way more dramatic. She disguised herself as a little old woman. "Hello, dear. May I sit and watch you weave?" And Arachne, not knowing who she was dealing with, just shrugged like, "Sure, Granny. Sit down. Prepare to be amazed." Athena sat, watched, and nodded slowly. But then she whispered, "You're talented, child, but maybe you should give credit to the gods. Maybe you should thank Athena for your gifts." Arachne spun around, fire in her eyes, and snapped, "No! Everything I've learned I did myself. If Athena has a problem, she can tell me to my face." And that's when the old woman transformed in a flash of golden light. No wrinkles, no cane. Suddenly there stood Athena in all her glory, helmet shining, armor glowing, and eyes sharper than a spear point. Arachne gasped. The room fell silent, and Athena said, "Very well, you challenge me. Then we shall weave, you and me, now." Well, this wasn't just a craft contest anymore. This was a battle between pride and power. And now the looms are ready, the yarn was rolled, the challenge was accepted. This is a clash of legends. Legends, legends, legends. On one side, Athena, daughter of Zeus, hands glowing with divine energy. On the other, Arachne, a mortal girl, weaving not with magic, but with pure talent. The rules, simple. Each would weave one tapestry. The one with the most skill, beauty, and message wins. First up, Athena. Her fingers moved faster than lightning, like literally she did. She wove a giant glowing tapestry of showing all the great victories of the gods. At the center was her own story, how she won the city of Athens by giving the olive tree, while Poseidon only gave a saltwater spring. Around the edges, Zeus throwing sun thunderbolts, Apollo shining the sun, Hermes flying with his winged shoes. But that's not all. In every corner of her tapestry, Athena added a warning. Mortals who dared to challenge the gods being punished. It was like she was saying, don't forget who's in charge. And boom! The cloth shimmered like starlight. Her weaving was flawless. Everyone watching gasped. Athena's won already, someone whispered. But Arachne didn't even flinch. She stepped up to her loom. No magic, no glow, just hands and thread and courage. And she began to weave, and the pictures that formed, they were gorgeous. Even the birds in her tapestry looked like they could fly right off the cloth. But the stories she told, oh boy, she showed the gods doing bad things. Zeus disguising himself to trick mortal woman. Poseidon chasing a bunch. No, he was chasing Medusa. And Apollo and Dionysus playing cruel games. She wasn't just showing off her skill. She was calling the gods out. Right in front of Athena. And when both tapestries were done, the world held its breath. Athena stood still. Her eyes scanned Arachne's work. Her jaw clenched. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And it told the truth. And Athena may or may not have been matched by a mortal. And I may have forgot to tell you, Zeus himself, yes, the Lord of the Sky, Lightning, and tons of other things, were judging it. All the tapestries hung side by side. Athena's was divine, majestic, and full of glory and warnings. Arachne's was breathtaking, bold, and honest. No mistakes, no crooked threads, no missed stitches. Arachne had woven a masterpiece. Athena knew it. Zeus was very surprised. He really thought Arachne was better than Athena. But then he took a closer look at what Arachne had woven. And Zeus, seeing himself like in the bad way, typical Zeus, announced Athena as the winner. And suddenly, no suddenly, I'm just going to do a flashback before the contest started. Whew. Arachne, if you win, then I admit you are greater than me. But if I win, you must never touch a loom again. Then Arachne said, very well. But so that probably just means that the loser never gets to touch a loom again? Well, not exactly, but fine. Flashback end. Woof. And Athena, after she won, her face twisted. And that's when Athena snapped. She ripped Arachne's tapestry to shreds, shouting that it was disrespectful. Arachne stood frozen, tears in her eyes. She didn't argue. She didn't run. Well, she did run. She ran outside and tried to commit suicide. But Athena saw Arachne trying to kill herself, finally took pity on her. And Athena said, "You poor mortal. You have swore an oath with the gods. The loser must never touch a loom again. But I will let you weave forever, so that your children can weave too. And Arachne's arms shrink, her fingers stretched into legs, her skin turned dark and shiny, her eyes multiplied. She fell and landed, tiny and trembling, in the shape of a spider, the first spider. And from that day on, Arachne would never stop weaving, not as a human, not as an artist, as a creature, crawling in shadows, spinning silk forever. And that is the origin of the spider. So what we learn about this? Was the spider transforming a punishment or maybe pity? It's one of those myths that doesn't give you a neat and happy ending. Most myths doesn't. But both of them were right and wrong. Athena was a goddess and she deserved respect, but she let her pride overcome herself. Arachne was brave, honest, and incredibly talented, but she challenged the gods without any fear of the consequences. Some say in later versions of the myth that Athena actually felt guilty afterwards. Others say that it was pure pity, but sometimes they also say that Athena did it as a punishment. But either way, that's why we have spiders spinning and weaving their delicate webs night and day, and maybe, just maybe, every time you see a spider, it's Arachne, still weaving, still telling stories the gods didn't want you to hear. And also, that's how, like in Percy Jackson, Athena's children fears spiders, like Annabeth. This has been Tales of Olympus, and I'm Ariel, your truth teller, your myth weaver, and your snack-loving host of all things Greek and dramatic. If you liked today's tale, go share it with a friend, or a teacher, or maybe your pet spider. And don't forget to check out our subreddit r/Tales of Olympus Club for behind-the-scenes posts, updates, and even debates. You can even vote Team Athena or Team Arachne. I'll be posting it later. And until next time, stay wise, stay humble, and if you ever feel like challenging a god, maybe think twice. I'm Ariel, I'm 10 years old, and I will see you next episode. Bye!